Hello, and welcome to Founder Freedom from Hustler to CEO, the podcast built for e-commerce entrepreneurs and small business owners who are ready to work less, earn more, and scale smarter. I'm your host, Stephen Palmer, and today we're talking fire, literally. If you're into entrepreneurship, outdoor cooking, or just love hearing how someone turns a traditional product into a premium experience, this one is for you. Let's jump in with Joe Billick. Welcome, Joe. How are you this morning?
Hey, Stephen, good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Can you tell us a little bit about the Cutting Edge Firewood value prop?
Yeah, so we deliver a premium firewood product. So a lot of different SKUs, but we pride ourselves on a high service offering with a premium product. So we're sourcing the best pieces of wood. And when we say hand selected, it really is like we a certain spec from our suppliers and we package it and source only the best pieces of firewood. So try to eliminate as much bark as we can to keep it smoke free, to keep it under 10% moisture so that the logs light easily and they're free of, dirt, mold, pests, all that. So you get a nice clean firewood or cooking wood if that's what you're into. So
Nice. So what was the inspiration for creating this brand?
we just saw a need in the industry that the firewood delivery and firewood experience needed to change. So, traditionally you got a guy with a pickup truck delivering seasoned wood, dumping it in your your driveway, or maybe even hand stacking it in your backyard. In metropolitan areas, you got people with cars or SUVs that don't necessarily have trucks and want to pick up, firewood off the side of the road. So we've got a really unique packaging solution with a metal rack, full weatherproof covers, and our delivery artisans or drivers will deliver it to your house. So each truck is equipped with like motorized hawsers and stair carries. So we've got people that have fireplaces on their second or third balcony, which didn't know was a thing until we started it, but the equipment helps us get firewood delivered where they want it. And the packaging is nice enough that it can go inside your house or on your back deck. And it's a nice aesthetic. It's not just a stack of firewood.
Nice. That sounds awesome for firewood. So just thinking in my head here, so are you just delivering locally or do you sell nationally?
Yeah, great question. So we deliver in the Southeast. So think Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville are our target markets on this racks of wood for our delivery artisans. We ship nationwide boxes of firewood. We will ship racks of wood nationwide. The value comes from obviously ordering more because we pay that freight charge.
Right.
So we will ship it nationwide. We've got customers in Seattle, Wyoming that live on 400 acres, guys that you would think have plenty of wood, but once they kind of burn our product, they can't go anywhere else. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what major challenge or gap did you see in the market that led to the business creation, you think?
Yeah, I think it's just an experience, right? It's what I tell people is you can go stay at a Best Western or a Holiday Inn, right? But I like to go stay at a Lowe's or a nicer hotel. It's just a better feel. It's a nicer product. It's a better service. We pride ourselves on a tremendous amount of customer service where we've got notes for each of our customers. We see a ton of repeat business. We know exactly where they want the firewood. We've got garage codes so that we can deliver it if they're home or not home. So we offer that like high-end concierge service where we try to make purchasing easy, right? It's not going down to the farmer's market or the guy on the side of the road or the grocery store and buying bags of wood. It's click a button, send us a text message, give us a phone call. We'll make sure that you're stocked up for the winter or the summer if you're into pizza woods or barbecue woods, whatever it is.
That's awesome. I would imagine your wood bundles have a few less bugs than the roadside bundles.
Yeah, no bugs. And that's a big differentiator too. So, the roadside stuff is seasoned versus kiln-dried, right? So seasoned wood will sit outside for, months, years until it sells and it's got a darker color. It does dry, but it usually retains a higher level of moisture, whereas ours is kiln-dried for up to 55 hours. It basically think like a big oven. It just, you come off the splitter, you drive it into a kiln, it kiln dries. And then we actually have a temperature controlled warehouse that we keep our product. So if we don't sell through in the winter, we've got wood and we start to store up for next season, but it stays dry and pest free.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah, it's fancy wood for sure. The wood guys love to tell us that. So we're the fancy wood. Yeah.
So just explain a little bit more in detail, like what was the existing way of doing things that you felt that was broken or inefficient to fill this niche?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's Bob's Firewood or whatever. It's the guy at the farmer's market that might drop it in your driveway. It's a little different up north where you're at. Firewood is more of a heating source. Down in the South, homes definitely use it to heat, but it could be an aesthetic. People use it to decorate with. People, if they have a party, they have to get a fire going, and it's not necessarily to heat the home, but ambiance. It's the convenience of it. Really, it's click a button and firewood's delivered exactly where you want it. It's a nice package. It's a good experience. I mean, and we know that we deliver a quality product. So the actual product itself, I think, is a differentiator along with the service. So
Yeah,
that's what we felt needed to change.
perfect. Great solution. So your company solves the problem better than existing alternatives because of your packaging and because of your firewood experience.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So when people are considering to make a purchase, like on your website, what do you think is their biggest misconception about what you do?
Yeah, I would say it's probably our price point, right? It's, if you look at the volume of wood and the price point compared to what you would get, with the bagged firewood product or the roadside guy, it's definitely a higher price point. And what you're paying for is the packaging, the service, and the quality. Like you're not going to get bad wood. And if it ever happens, which it rarely does, we make it right.
Mm-hmm.
So, the price point, it obviously drives some people who are like, if you just want cheap, wet smoked firewood, right? Go to the farmer's market, go to the guy on the side of the road. If you don't want to have to worry about it and you want a good product and it's going to light quick and easy, and it's not going to smoke a lot either in your home or in your fire pit, this is the way that I would go. And then This is what I tell people, like the packaging, the service, and the product, like you're going to pay for what you get for. So
much better wood experience.
Exactly. Especially cooking. I mean, I've been a propane grill guy for a long time and started to dabble in smoking and barbecue world before I took this role. And as I've transitioned in and now I have access to firewood, I mean, I've gotten open fire cooking grills and pizza ovens. And if I'm cooking with this kind of fuel source, I want to know that it's a good product and it's free of mold and pests and, any chemicals or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
and snap, crackle, pop if your pizza oven is inside.
That's right. Yeah.
That's funny. So do you have any success stories that you could share with us? It could either be like a customer success story or maybe a bigger win about the mission for your brand.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit and just kind of thinking about it. We literally, I think it was 2 days ago, we got a review from a guy who makes smokers in Texas. And I think the company is called Smoke Slinger. And he was raving about the cut and the size of our wood, just that we've taken, your standard 16-inch log and we can offer it in what we call splits, which is an 8-inch, kind of cut or a 4-inch chunk, all used for various, kinds of cooking or smoking. And he bought, a few boxes of wood from us to try out in his smokers and he loved it. And he raved about how quality the product was, the packaging, the experience with ordering and customer service following up with what he wanted. Left a really nice review for us. And we actually sent him, some merchandise just to say thank you. And we appreciated him being a customer. That was a recent one. And kind of a partnership that we're exploring is with a pizza oven manufacturer in California called Forno Piombo. And they make these really high-end pizza ovens. They're gorgeous. And he raves and tells his customers that if you really want like the best wood to kind of, get your pizza oven, learn how to use the pizza oven, you spend all this money on a nice pizza oven, like use a good fuel source.
Right.
He refers Cutting Edge to all of his customers. And we actually worked a partnership deal where if, you buy a Forno Piombo pizza oven, we will gift you a free box of wood to try out. I mean, obviously for us, we want to go after his customer base, but we really do want people to see the difference between just that wet firewood and, a really quality product to cook pizzas and whatever they bake with in the oven. So,
yeah, no, that's a great way to add value and probably a pretty good marketing spend, I would say, for your company.
Yeah. I mean, we can flush dollars at PPC and SEO and all that stuff, which we do a little bit of. But that customer experience, I think, is, like I said, in our value prop. That's what it's about. Like we want you to have that good product. We want you to, use our firewood and cook with it. It's a good product.
Yeah. I like it because it's really getting close to your customer. I mean,
yeah,
pizza oven owner, boom. That's probably isn't too many more perfect ideal customers than that one.
Yeah, and we've got subscription models where, he was telling us about a subscription model for like pizza in a box. You get the dough and the sauce and all and some of the things that go with it, and firewood's right there with you. You don't even have to think about it. You kind of get a reload you can choose your frequency, 15, 30, 45 days, just depending on how often you cook. And
I love that.
It's one of those things that, you don't think about, where you want the convenience of having it, but you don't want to go through the process of having to go get it, right? It just shows up, it's ready there, it's ready for you. So
that's our world. And then, with subscriptions, you're adding, a lot of enterprise value to your business. So
absolutely. Yeah.
That's a way to roll if you can.
Yeah. Before this, never thought firewood subscription was a thing, but we're targeting it and we want it to be super easy for our customer base. And it helps us kind of plan what we're doing from a, order fulfillment and inventory standpoint as well. So
that's cool. So is there any kind of trends that you see shaping your near future?
From an operational standpoint, I mean, this is a seasonal business, right? We are, pedal to the metal from, October to February,
Mm-hmm.
selling more racks. A lot of labor involved in packaging, and then obviously the delivery method. And then it tapers off now. Like we're kind of planning and stocking up for next year. But we still see a lot of volume in the cooking world, right? The pizza ovens, the barbecue, the open fire cooking, the Santa Maria style cooking. So we've got a really, really loyal customer base that love our product. So we try to cater to them with different species of woods and cuts and things that they might. We take recommendations, and we have a custom order process. Like if you want wood cut to a certain size or a certain mix, we can do that. So we really try to listen to our customers. We're seeing a shift where a lot of restaurants are going to open fire cooking, like the steakhouses, obviously barbecue and pizza, pizzerias. So we're trying to find a good product for restaurants that don't impact their P&L. So, we're trying to come in at a price point that makes sense for them. And then how we're trying to balance out that seasonality is to really target kind of the B2B, right? The restaurant side.
Right.
It may not be super profitable for us, but it will allow us to keep some consistent volume.
Yeah.
And keep drivers in warehouse.
Keep your employees busy.
Going. So, exactly. Yeah.
So you kind of already talked a little bit about this question, but the question is, what advice do you have for business owners looking to stay ahead of the curve? And what you just touched on was that, listen to your customers. I think that's a very common answer in this podcast questionnaire form.
It's listen to your customers. I mean, I hit it before. I think we've lost customers because of our price point. We're trying to find products that will meet their needs from a firewood and cost standpoint, but we pride ourselves in like the highest quality product, right? And we're sourcing this from multiple locations, and we pay a premium for it. And we have a really high-end service offering too, right? There's a lot of systems and customer service that goes into the delivery method. Like if no one ever knew that their firewood was delivered, they just showed up and it was there in the perfect spot. I think we did our job, right? And there's a lot of cost that goes into that. So, we hear customers and we hear the price point can be high, but for the loyal customer base of ours, like they understand, they know what they're getting out of the product. But we are looking to find ways to kind of tap into other markets and kind of hit that price point that works for, a different segment of the market.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point, right? Just talking about the listening to the customers can almost never hear enough about that. And I only say it because as a marketing consultant, I've had the pleasure of serving a lot of companies that didn't give a flying, what about their customer. They weren't even connected to their customer. They only could talk about their product.
I've gone on deliveries and people have no idea who I am. They just think I'm a driver and showed up and shook their hands and talked to them about the product and how the service was. And, they don't know that they're talking to, the guy running the whole show, but they pay our bills. They keep the lights on. The customer is literally at the top of the pyramid. Like it is, everything that we do is to service our customer base. And in an e-com environment, there's hundreds of options to go get firewood, right? Like, well, why would they choose us? Because it's a great experience, because it's a great product and the service is like unmatched. You can't beat it.
Right.
So.
That's fantastic. So what's next for your company, Joe?
It's a great question. We're looking to expand into other markets so that we can offer the same service outside of just Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte. We get up there today, but we only service those markets every other week. And it's just the cost for us to deliver and drive up there. We're trying to cube out our trucks. We're looking at putting satellite locations in so that we can service customers faster, right? The days to deliver kind of get down. We're looking at new product lines. We're exploring some different type of cooking woods, potentially a charcoal line that would help complement and sell through during the summer to help drive some of that seasonality out. The barrier to entry right now is pretty steep with tariffs and some of the manufacturing that's going on and where it happens. And then we're targeting kind of the B2B side, right? The restaurants. We want our wood and our spec to be in restaurants so that people see the brand and know that the restaurant's cooking with the absolute best product they can, right? I've been in the back of some restaurants and seen what that wood looks like and where it's outside and it's moldy and dark and brown. I mean, once it goes in the fire, nobody can tell, but when you see what people are cooking your food with, it's a little eye-opening. So a couple of different avenues that we want to explore to help us expand, kind of balance out seasonality, but everything right now is geared towards peak season. So we're in the process of getting ready for September. And Labor Day is kind of when we kick off firewood season for us. So
the end of summer, the big end.
Well,
that's great.
We're at the beginning of it now.
Yeah. So this has been fantastic. I've really learned a lot. I mean, I would say, and just make a comment that because I'm such a foodie, it really fits in with this slow food movement, and I like the B2B focus because if you could get your brand in front of more eyeballs through that distributorship, I mean, it's only going to help drive sales for sure.
Yeah, in the restaurant world, I mean, it's really relationship driven. And I know some restaurant owners and some GMs, and there's somebody walking through the back door every day trying to get their, food business, their buy their plates or buy their napkins or buy their, firewood.
Yep.
So it's a relationship business, and everything I've learned up to this point is we're really just a cost to them. But we really are enhancing like the customer experience for them as well, because you're cooking with a good fuel source, and we know it's clean, and we know it's going to add flavor, right? Some of the open fire cooking in steakhouses, the food's incredible. And you think about, we all eat off of propane and gas grills, but there's a chemical involved in that to cook your food source. So something that we're excited about, we want to go after pretty heavily. So
yeah, that's great. Good for you. What's the best way for listeners to get in touch with Cutting Edge Firewood? Just your website, you work in some socials?
Yeah, all the main channels. So we're on Instagram. I think it's cutting.edge.firewood. We've got, you'll see Facebook posts. Now, if you listen to this, you'll probably see Cutting Edge Firewood ads everywhere. We try to target certain markets, but it really is a good product. I never would have thought about it being firewood delivery being a thing, but I did it once before I stepped into this role, and I was like, wow, that's fantastic. And my wife burned through a rack like in the first week, and I was like, hey, we got to slow down. It's expensive.
You're burning my money.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, in the house, I think we started with a hickory rack. It burns a little bit longer, but man, it puts off that kind of barbecue-y smell. And she came in one day and she was like, our house smells like a barbecue joint. And I said, it's great. I love it. It smells great. So we've been experimenting with some like oak and cherry mix. It's a little bit sweeter of a smell, but it burns really nice in the house. So
that's fun. That's super awesome. Well, that's a wrap, folks, on today's episode of Founder Freedom, from hustler to CEO. A big thanks to Joe Billick for joining me and sharing how Cutting Edge Firewood is blazing a new trail in a classic industry. Want more stories like Joe's? Be sure to follow, rate, or share Founder Freedom wherever you get your podcasts. Every listen helps us spotlight more founders, rewriting the rules of business on their terms. Until next time, keep building smarter, not harder.